A man is charged with assault and battery after North Charleston police say he fired a gun in a friend's apartment. 24-year-old Ben Mitchell Jr. is also charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Officers say they were called to Van Buren Avenue early yesterday morning where Mitchell was visiting a friend. They say he became loud and aggressive, promoting his friend to tell him to quiet down as 4 kids were sleeping nearby. Well, that's when Mitchell reportedly slapped the victim before firing 2 shots. Officers found shell casings, a handgun, and damage from the shots. They later learned that the gun that he used had been reported stolen.